body. Ashrayaha, the original foundation. And there's a footnote. Without the shelter of the spirit soul, the material body cannot exist. Avikriyaha, not undergoing changes like the body. Another footnote. As already explained, the fruits and flowers of a tree take birth, exist, grow, transform, dwindle, and die according to seasonal changes. But the tree, through all these changes, remains the same. Similarly, the Atma is free from all changes. Hetuhu, no, Svadrik, self-illuminated. Another footnote. That's why if you write your papers or your essays, you put a lot of footnotes, people get lost. It may be good for academic publishing, but for the general populace, they disconnect. Have you noticed? Footnotes, endnotes, whoa, no, too much echo. So you can lose your audience if you jump around too much. You noticed? So you have to stay on track. You have to stay in one place. Okay. Footnote number 3. One does not need to make the soul prominent. It is automatically prominent. One may very easily understand that in the living body, there is a spirit soul. Hetu, the cause of all causes. Vyapaka, spreading throughout the body in the form of consciousness. Asangi, not depending on the body. Free to transmigrate from one body to another. Anavritaha, not covered by material contamination. Etai, by all these. Dvadashabhi, 12. Vidvan, a person who is not foolish, but fully aware of things as they are. Atmanaha, of the spirit soul. Lakshanai, symptoms. Parai, transcendental. Aham, I am this body. Mama, mine. Everything in relationship with this body is mine. Sounds familiar? Ishvaroha Mahamameti. Huh? I think that's the sutra here for Bengaluru, right? Iti, thus, asadbhavam, a false conception of life. Deha adau, identifying oneself with the material body, and then with one's wife, children, family, community, nation, and so on. Somebody turns this up continuously. Who is doing? Our invisible friend. Mohajam, produced from illusory knowledge. Tyajet, must give up. Jai Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Ho. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Atma refers to the Supreme Lord or the living entities. Both of them are spiritual, free from birth and death, free from deterioration and free from material contamination. They are individual. They are the knowers of the external body. They are individual. They are the knowers of the external body, and they are the foundation or shelter of everything. They, because living entities, plural. That's why they. It's all in plural. They are free from material change. They are self-illuminated. They are the cause of all causes, and they're all-pervading. They have nothing to do with the material body, and therefore they're always uncovered. With these transcendental qualities, one who is actually learned must give up the illusory conception of life in which one thinks, I'm this material body. And everything in relationship with this body is mine. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 15:7, Lord Krishna clearly says, Mamayavangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta. All the living entities are part of me. Therefore, the living entities are qualitatively the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the leader, the supreme among all the living entities. In the Vedas it is said, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. The Lord is the chief individual living entity, the leader of the subordinate living entities. Because the living entities are parts or samples of God, their qualities are not different from those of the Supreme Lord. The living entities have the same qualities as the Lord, just as the drop of seawater is composed of the same chemicals as the great sea itself. Thus there is oneness in quality, but a difference in quantity. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by understanding the sample, the living entity. Because all the qualities of God exist in a minute quantity in the living entities. There is oneness, but God is great wherever the living entities are, whereas the living entities are extremely small. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, Kata Upanishad 1:2:20. The living entities are smaller than the atom, but God is greater than the greatest. Our conception of greatness may be represented by the sky, because we think of the sky as being unlimitedly big, but God is bigger than the sky. Similarly, we have knowledge that the living entities are smaller than smaller than atoms. This font is very small. That's why. Or my eyes are getting bad. Smaller than atoms, being 1/10,000th the size of the tip of the hair, yet the quality of being the supreme cause of all causes exists in the living entity, as well as in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, it is due to the presence of the living entity that the body exists and bodily changes take place. Similarly, it is because the Supreme Lord is within this universe that the changes dictated by the material laws occur. The word eka, meaning individual, is significant, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 9:4, Matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu astita. Everything material and spiritual, including earth, water, air, fire, sky, and the living entities, exists on the platform of spirit soul. Although everything is an emanation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one shouldn't think that the Supreme Lord is dependent on anything else. Both God and the living entity are fully conscious. As living entities who are conscious, we are conscious of our bodily existence. Similarly, the Lord is conscious of the gigantic cosmic manifestation. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Yasmindyau prithvi chantariksham vigyataram adikena vijaniyat ekam evadvityam atmajyoti samrat ihovara sa iman lokan asrijata satyam jnanam anantam asangohyayam purushaha purnasya purnam adaya purnam eva vashishyate. All these Vedic injunctions prove that both the Supreme Personality Godhead and the minute soul are individual. One is great and the other is small, but both of them are the cause of all causes. The corporally limited and the universally unlimited. We should always remember that although we are equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in quality, we're never equal to Him in quantity. Persons with a small fund of intelligence finding themselves equal in quality with God foolishly think that they're equal in quantity also. Their intelligence is called avishuddha buddhaya, unpolished or contaminated intelligence. When such persons, after endeavoring hard for many, many lives to understand the Supreme Cause, are finally in actual knowledge of Krishna, Vasudev, they surrender unto Him. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabhaha. Thus they become great Mahatmas, perfect souls. If one's fortunate enough to understand his relationship with God, knowing that God is great, Vibhu, whereas the living entity is small, Anu, he is perfect in knowledge. The individual exists in darkness when he thinks that he is the material body, and that everything in relationship with the material body belongs to him. This is called aham mama. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. This is illusion. One must give up his illusory conception and thus become fully aware of everything. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Water pump, or what's the sound? Construction. The never-ending construction. So very happy to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, in the assembly of all the Vaishnavas. In this section, we're hearing Prahlad's recounting what he learned in the womb. Prahlad was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, when Narada Muni was giving instructions. His mother forgot, but Prahlad remembered. So, here he's recounting all these instructions to his classmates, correct? Because they were wondering, where did you get all these new information from? This is nothing we learned in school so far. Huh? Did you ever learn about Atma, Jivatma, Paramatma? No? IT, IIT, NIT? No? Nothing, huh? None of that sort, right? So, because this... He's working on? Okay. Okay. Well, once you get used to it, you can just blend it out, right? It's like white noise. You just have to delete that frequency. So, this is called Sambandha Gyan. You know Sambandha Videya Prayojana? Huh? Sambandha means what? Before you have a relationship, what do you have to know? Kayami, who am I? And then next thing, who is the Lord? Yes. And then third thing, yes. Huh? Most relationships are over before they start because we don't know who we are, who the other person is, and what our relationship is. So it's all dreamland. It's all fantasizing. And thus, as Prabhupada points out in his purport, as soon as people hear, oh, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, we're all Brahman. Oh, yes, we're all Brahman. Haribol, yes, we are it, right? You're that, Tattvamasi. Huh? But they don't understand that part about minute, infinitesimal, and the great, the source. That they don't remember. So, Sambandha Gyan is foundational, just like you see so many big high-rises coming up here in Bengaluru. Have you seen high-rises? Happening, right? As we speak. So, unless foundation is strong, it's not going to last. In a similar way, in our Krishna consciousness, whatever you want to achieve is built on your foundation. What is your foundation? Your foundation is understanding Sambandha Gyan, because without Sambandha, there is no Abhideya. There is no interaction. And without interaction, there is no Prayojana. There is no goal. Okay? So sometimes you may think, oh, this sounds very basic. I heard this before. Does your mind ever tell you this? I heard this before? Sometimes? Anybody? 2 or 3? Yeah? What happens when these I already know? Switch off, right? Disconnect. Oh, I can go to sleep now. I'm okay. I can pass this lesson because I already know that. Huh? But how much do we actually know? Have you met people who were infatuated by being Deshi? Huh? Deshiism? You heard of Deshiism? Nationalism? Huh? Tribalism? Oh, which Gotra? Huh? Which side of the river, right? Huh? Which caste? Which school? How much money? Which neighborhood? Which job? How much pay? You heard that kind of discussion? Huh? Well, Prabhupada was giving the example, the guy who's driving in a car, he yells through the window, "Hey, Tela, get out of the way. Hey, rickshaw, move." He's thinking, I'm car, I'm automobile. He's Tela or he's rickshaw. Chalo, get lost. But we're none of these things. Asango yayam purushaha. The soul is distinct, is completely separate from all packaging. You see, there is identity and identification. Identity is substance, is who we actually are. Identification is the packaging. Packaging, what does packaging mean? It's anything that can be removed, right? What can be removed? All these things. They're called upadis. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. But if, again, in the name of Krishna consciousness, we're taking on all these upadis, oh, I'm from this state, I'm from this language, I'm from this caste, I'm from this school, thus I'm better. Why am I better? Because we have to be better, because we're the best. There are two classes of people in this world. Those who want to prove that they're the best, and those who know that they are the best. Now, who is more in Maya? Who is more in illusion? Wet stool, dry stool, right? Same, right? No difference. So don't get caught up in this whole idea. This is all upadi. It doesn't matter. It's packaging. Substance, vastu, is what is important. That is Atma and Paramatma. Everything else is superfluous. I was taking a flight from Georgetown, Guyana, to Port of Spain, Trinidad. Now, these are all former colonies from the British. So when slavery was abolished, then they got people from Bihar and Eastern UP to do the sugarcane cutting, you know? So they offered them good deals, and then they changed the deals. But now, somehow, these people, they own the country. So I was taking a flight. The gentleman next to me, he saw me reading Shastra. And after a while, he started chuckling, he started laughing. And he said, you know, it's funny that actually you can't become a Hindu. You have to be born a Hindu. And I said, really? How come? And he went on, you know, like grandma and this one and that one and this says and that says. And about after 7 or 10 minutes, he ran out of steam. And he said, actually, I don't know. And I said, really? That's the first true thing that you have said in the last 10 minutes. Actually, I don't know. And I just asked him a few questions. And he was very puzzled. And he decided, let me go back to eat my hamburger with my girlfriend. So, no need to discuss philosophy with people who don't have the bandwidth, you know, RAM, bandwidth, to deal with these kind of scenarios. There it's just like, oh, you know, I like your skirt, or I like your glasses, or you have a nice motorbike, and they pay attention, right? Why? Because upadi is what they're all about. So, but here, Narada Muni, he's not wasting time with upadi because he understands that this universe is anda. What does anda mean? Blind, yes. Blind because it's covered, you know? You're covered. You're covered. Also means an egg, you know? If you're in an egg, yeah, then... So nothing gets in and nothing gets out. Anything that happens within this universe is a combination and permutation of red, blue, and yellow. What does red, blue, and yellow consist of? Modes, yes, gunas. Also the primary colors. Everything that you see is a mixture of that in this world. So if you want information that's different, you have to get information from outside of this anda, outside of this universe. Golokera premadana harinama sankirtana. The only export product of the spiritual world is harinam sankirtan. No import-export, you know. They're not into trade and business and all that. But because of compassion, because of mercy, because of feeling the pain of the living entities, the Lord, He extends Himself through the acharyas to expand this transcendental knowledge into the material world. Just like here, when you move the curtain, all of a sudden, you can actually see. Did you notice I struggled reading, but all of a sudden I found that little ray of light, and I could actually see. It's amazing, isn't it? So, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara. How does it continue? And what does it mean? Light, darkness, yes. Correct. Because wherever the sun is, there's no question of darkness. There's no question of obscurity. But if we again get in the way, just like sometimes you're preaching, but then your abhiman, you know, gets a little too excited, you know, your sense of Ishvaroham Mahambogi, that I am the big preacher here, and I am the one who's telling this person, I'm the one who's instructing this person, and all of a sudden we're standing in the way, we're blocking the light. Have you noticed? And all of a sudden that person is feeling darkness. You have had that experience? It's possible, right? And there's a disconnect. How much does it take to have a disconnect? Close. You may be very close, but a small disconnect can just completely cut your connection. So, before you can be Krishna conscious, you have to be conscious. You have to be conscious, you have to be aware. Tamasima, Jyotirgama. You have to come out of the darkness, come into the light. And yes, we're chanting, we're studying, we're doing all these things. Tasmat gurum prapadyeta jigyasu shreutamam shapte parechanishnatam brahmanyupashrayashram. So, you're chanting mantras, but how do you know the efficacy of your mantra? How do you know? In former times, they had to light fire by mantra. Anyone here can light fire by mantra? No? You'll be out there working for the zoo, right? Or for the circus. Huh? No, you can't. So how do you know whether your chanting of mantra is actually effective? How do you know? How do you prove the efficacy of your mantra? You go out on Harinam Sankirtan and you preach, you share the message, then you will see how good your mantra is. You will see how good your chanting is. Are people ignoring you? Are you invisible and not noticeable? One time I was in Mumbai in one of the local stations, I think it was some Valley, Borivali or something, with my old friend Govinda Prabhu. And it was rush hour, 5 o'clock in the evening. People, commuters going home, they're tired. You have train stations here? Train is still a thing? Or it's all cars? Metro, yeah. Yeah, so people are tired, they just want to rush home, right? They just want to make it to get the connection. So like sheep, they're all just rushing. And I was trying really hard to get people's attention. Nothing connected. People just avoiding eye contact, just dodging everything and everyone just to get home. So what do you do when you don't know what to do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I just went, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of a sudden, 5 or 7 people started looking at me. And I said, you, and you, come here. I got something for you. And they came. And they took books. And then again, nothing happened. So I started chanting again. Huh? I could not distribute books. But by the power of mantra, they became connected. Huh? So you want to connect with people? Mantra technology. Huh? Just like you see in India. Everything is available and nothing works. Have you noticed? Huh? Everything is available, but nothing works, right? You go on yatra, there's 10,000 people, they spend crores, building big fancy, and nothing works, just feedback. Wing! You know that high sounding pitch when, too much feedback? Huh? The best thing, you can get electrocuted just by touching the mic. Have you noticed? You get that buzz. So, don't get caught up in upadhis. Know how to recognize when there is a disconnect, when the person is shutting off. Have you noticed? You have noticed? When the person is shutting off, they may close their eyes, they may look somewhere else, they may get a little anxious, they may just start walking in a different direction. You have to notice that, and then you have to be able to catch it and bring it back. Okay? Because if you're not able to do that, you may sit here and pretend you're chanting Hare Krishna, but meanwhile, you're scrolling. Meanwhile, your mind is scrolling. Have you noticed? Huh? Even your phone may not be there, but still in your mind, you're scrolling, right? You're going through to-do lists. You ever done that? Anybody? Or is it just me? Okay, misery loves company. I feel better already. So, this is called Sankirtan Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan. What do you want? You want Samadhi. You want Prem. But how are you going to get there? If you get stuck in Yama, Niyama, how are you going to get to Prem? How are you going to get to Samadhi? Huh? So Sankirtan is high sadhana. Right now you may feel, I just learned a few shlokas and a few magic tricks. I'm a smart talker. And then so many people will be attracted. There is an audience for every product. Have you noticed? Sometimes you think, who's going to sell this? Who's going to like that? Don't worry, somebody's going to buy it. Somebody's going to like it. Huh? But we're not here to sell a product. We're not here to get a following. We're not here to get an attention. What we're here for? Can somebody remind us? Huh? Love of God. Prem. Prem Pramartha Moha. But that's not a cheap thing. Can you buy it on Flipkart? No? What about these little scooty guys? Do they deliver? No? Why not? Everything is for sale, no? This is Bengaluru. No? 24/7. Huh? It's so funny, like all these call centers and all these AI-driven, so-called customer service. They say, we're really concerned about you, right? We're really concerned about you. Yeah. After I wait for 7 hours, on the line, because my flight has been canceled and I'm stuck somewhere in a remote part of the world, then all of a sudden, and every 2 minutes this message comes. Oh yeah, we really love you, we really like you, and please, all that stuff. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Okay? It's just business. So if you want substance, you have to study Bhagavatam. This is Vastu. Vastra. Shastra. Vastu Shivanam. What's that verse? How does it start? Tapotrayun Mulanam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahamuni Krite. Kimva Parairishvara. Dharma Prochita Kaitavotra. Paramonir Matsaranam Satam. Vedavastyamatra Shivanam. Tapotrayan Mulanam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahamuni Krite. Kimva Parairishvara. Sadyaravarudhyurtye ta kritibi shubi Tatkshana. Yes, and that means we have to become attentive. Otherwise, our mind will be captured by all these distorting frequencies. Have you noticed that something is missing? No more noise. It's so quiet. That's why city people cannot stand the countryside. Do you notice? Do you notice? Yes, I'm happy. Some phone is ringing. At least something is going on. Huh? Now I can sleep peacefully. Like we're doing retreats in San Francisco. We take people out of the city into some woods, and they get out of the car and they take out their phone and they go. And I say, no signal here. Just leave it in the car. There's not going to be any signal. They get very anxious, right? No signal, no connection. Huh? They have to have a tape with white noise. All this soundtrack, ambulance and honk honk. Then they feel peaceful. Then they can sleep. We're so accustomed to upadhi that just pure life does seem wrong. There seems to be something missing, right? No, nothing missing. Everything is perfect. Huh? Why? Because Krishna is the complete, He's the perfect. Om Purnam Madak Purnamidam Purnat Purnamad Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So there is nothing lacking, but still we feel something is lacking. Have you noticed? You feel there's something lacking? You're a brahmachari, you're in the ashram, you got clothes, you got food, you got place to stay, you have meaningful things to do, good sangha, good education. But the mind is saying, oh, what about this guy? What about that guy? Oh, he's popular. Oh, he's more popular. What about me? Nobody knows me. What can I do to become popular? Huh? So what do you want to become? Podcast wala? Katakar wala? Huh? IT wala? What kind of wala you want to be? You're still a wala. Huh? Doesn't matter what kind of baniya you are. Whether you're selling peanuts or you're selling airplanes or diamonds, you're a wala. Huh? Yesterday night I was in Calcutta airport and there was a family of Marwaris, and they were just, in their own bhav, with their kids eating, talking, playing, and I, gave them the book. And then I said donation, so he took out a big stack of cash like this, So, and I said, you give 500. And he got like, that woke him up, Before he was just in his own bhav. But all of a sudden, somebody asked him for something that he did not expect. So, why are we doing a little bit of this? In order to get your attention. Because if you're not attentive, Maya will eviscerate you. You know what eviscerate means? I know you're from engineering backgrounds, but a little bit of vocabulary is good. Eviscerate means you open up and you take out the intestines, like Hiranyakashipu, that mudra. So, and then she's taking your guts and she puts it around her walking stick as a trophy, We got another idiot, another one. Huh? So every time you switch off, while reading, while chanting, somebody asks you, what did you read? If I would hand out blank sheets of paper right now and say, write down 500 words on what you just heard in this shloka or in these two shlokas, what happens? Mine goes blank, right? Blank. Why? Too much noise. Too much noise going on. So that's why we need Sankirtan Yoga. Does Arjuna have a problem with focus? Does Arjuna have a problem with exercise? Does Arjuna have a problem with diet? Why not? Because Arjuna is on a mission. Are you on a mission? No. That's why you're spaced out. Huh? So find your mission in the vision of Prabhupada, and yama niyama all the way up to samadhi will be included in that. That's a side benefit of having bought into the mood and mission of Guru and Gauranga. It's not enough to buy the t-shirt. It's not enough to say, yeah, I'm one of the ashram guys and I'm part of the thing and we're doing a few books and a few cows and a few meals. What? What the heck? There's thousands of Hindu groups are doing 1,000 times more than we are doing right now. Have you noticed? You noticed. So what is our value-added benefit? What is it that separates and distinguishes this movement from any other organization? You tell me. What is it? Sankirtan. What does Sankirtan mean? Give me a translation. Samyak Kirtan, it means complete, congregational. It means it includes everybody. It's not just my Guru Bhai, it's not just the guy who speaks the same language or comes from the same college or from the same side of the river, but it's everybody. Like Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is our textbook. So you have the Prataparudras, and you have the beggars, and you have the business people and the doctors, the housewives. You got everybody. And they're all engaged in Sankirtan together. And they're all in the same team, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's team. So as soon as your mind says, no, he's not, that guy, no. Huh? You're not in Sankirtan mood. Means disconnect, means upadi. Something cut the line, cut the wire. Huh? And it's very annoying because you're this close, but still there's a disconnect. Huh? It's like you got Wi-Fi, but you don't have the password. You noticed? So what is the password? Trinarapi sunichena taroriva sahishnana amanena amanadena kirtaniya sadahari. And that means we have to be attentive. Otherwise, you'll become a casualty. Yeah? And there's enough casualties already in Kali Yuga. So Prahlad, through his great mercy and compassion, he's delivering Sambandha Gyan to his classmates. Why? Why is he not just giving them prem? He's got prem. Why is he not just delivering prem right there and then? Why is he talking about basics? They're not valued. It will be meaningless. They will mistaken it. Yeah, some romantic love type of thing, what is that? Huh? There has to be foundation. Otherwise, the more you build, the more disaster will happen. One time in Govardhan, I was walking with Burijan. Do you know Burijan Prabhu? Yeah? You heard of him? He comes here. Okay, wonderful. So, he was telling me, Navina, there's something I wanted to tell you for the last 2 years. If a teacher tells you there's something I wanted to tell you for the last 2 years, you start paying attention, right? Can you hold something in your head for longer than 2 minutes? No, right? He said this is what he wanted to tell me for 2 years. So naturally I was kind of curious, He said, what you're doing right now is most important because it's the foundation of what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Now I'm thinking, I'm already doing this for 35, 37 years, and he's telling me this is the foundation. Yes, you have to work on your foundation constantly. Then he said, we have to ask ourselves 3 questions. Number 1, who am I? I think you got photographic memory, no? Naishtik Brahmacharis? Screenshot. Kayami, who am I? And he answered, I'm a servant. As soon as you think something else, oh, I'm the controller, I'm in charge, I'm the preacher, I'm the counselor, I'm the one who can make it happen, I know people, I got contacts, I got connections. You become dog food. Maya got you finished, you're kaput. Question number 2, who occupies the sacred space in your heart? Who is your Ishtadev? Who are you worshipping? Is he Prabhupada? Is he Guru? Is it your... Who is your worshipful Lord? Who is there in your sacred space of your heart? And number 3, what is my contribution to this Iskcon movement? What is your legacy? Now I know we're starting young here because Nowadays, we have this great fortune that you can die young. Have you noticed? This is a great advantage of Kali Yuga, especially in these big cities, right? Everything is breakneck speed. And people literally self-destruct. They implode or explode at the bright old age of mid-30s or mid-40s. Huh? Have you seen a few people like that? Fast life, fast bike, fast everything, and then gone. And unfortunately, sometimes also, the brahmacharis who want to go fast and they want to become a somebody, then they turn into a brahmastra. Have you seen brahmacharis turn into brahmastras? They want to go viral, you know? And then they explode. Because they forgot. I'm a servant. I'm not here to control. I'm not here to impress. Huh? I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. I'm here to improve myself. So thank you for allowing me to serve you. We have time for a few questions and reflections. This is just the appetizer. You know, this is just meant to stimulate your digestive tract and your thinking process. We're not here to tell you how it is. We are here to help you with your internal dialogue so you can ask the right kind of questions and look in the right places to get the right kind of answers. Because if my internal dialogue is not improved, then what is the question? How much is the dollar? How much is the euro? How long to get a green card? How to get H-1B? You have heard these questions before? Huh? How to go to Videsh? But that's not a very relevant line of questioning. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagavana Jeev. Guru Krishna Prashade Bhai Bhakti Lata Beach. So we're very fortunate. We have come through a long cycle. The acharyas say that if you reach the human form of life, this is Vishwanath's commentary on Kapila Shiksha to Devahuti, where Kapila Dev says, after describing the struggle of the living entity in this world, he says that every jiva has cried an ocean of tears. How many tears in an ocean? That's approximately, unlimited. So, but then, by good fortune, somehow, our path crossed with some sadhu, somebody. And it might be a newcomer, it might be a new person who just intercepted you before you took your metro and handed you some small book of Srila Prabhupada. Huh? And it changed your trajectory. But yet, even though we're so close, the forces of nature are very strong. Have you noticed how the current is the strongest? Huh? Where is it the strongest? In the middle of the river or on the side of the river? Depends how the river flows, right? Whether there are bends. Sometimes there's undercurrents, like in the Ganga. You can't see it. People go and whoop, all of a sudden they're gone. Huh? And they come out miles down the river. So you can't be naive. If you're naive, you're the sucker. You're going to get roasted. So Prahlad, he is giving this foundational knowledge to his classmates so they can actually have a fair go. They actually have a good chance of making it through the winter. Because growing up in Asuric families is not an easy job. Have you met Asuric families here in Bangalore? Yeah? You have. Ishvaroha Mahambogi, right? This is my place. I own this place. I enjoy this place. I was on the plane yesterday with a lot of these people. I was surprised. None of hospitality, none of civility. Oh, no, you first. No, you first. No, everybody ran, bang, elbows out and, I was like, wow. This place has become more westernized than the West. It's scary, isn't it? Because if you don't have any frame of reference and you want to be Videshiwala, you do stuff that's way crazier and way much worse. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Because you have a lot of potential. There's a lot of adhikar. There's a lot of potential. But if you're not careful how to direct that capacity, that attention, that potential, it can cause great havoc. Questions, comments, or reflections? By the way, is there water? Pani hai? Yes.
To this point that without foundation, how much ever we take on, it will end up a disaster. So it's very, very important to build the foundation, especially that we are servants and we are here to serve. And what is a positive contribution that I made towards the mission? That was very nice.
Yeah, it's because Burijan Prabhu said it. And he's the teacher of the teachers, you know, the headmaster. So it's good to spend time with the wise sadhus. And we have them also. They're here in the Bhagavatam. But how much are we reading Bhagavatam? Or we're just counting chapters and verses and pages and we're just ticking boxes. Okay, done, 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 done. But have we understood, have we extracted the essence? That's the question. Have we actually internalized? Have we applied it? That's the question. Or am I still thinking, oh no, I'm a this, I'm a that? Conditioning is very strong. And it can come back anytime. At some moment you have a little bit of, you're breathing oxygen, right? And all of a sudden, back in anda. Back in ignorance mode. How do you notice that you're in ignorance mode? Fear. Bhayam ditya biniveshatasyat ishatapitasya viparyo smritihi. Have you met fear? He's not a good friend. Have you noticed what people do? What kind of strange things people do when they're afraid? Fear. And fear means ignorance. Now, have you ever heard that propaganda? If you don't buy this, if you don't eat this, if you don't take this medicine, if you don't, you're going to die. Have you heard that? Fear, right? Is it a motivating factor? Yes, certainly, but just for people in the mode of ignorance. Thank you. Then in the mode of passion, what's the incentive? Profit. 500 rupees more. Okay, quit the old job, get the new job. All right, I'll drive an hour more, but, I need to get 500 rupees more because, I want the new fridge. Sounds familiar? Huh? Yeah, I'll work all night. You give me free snacks, I'll be your slave. Now we don't call them slaves anymore, right? We call them call center agents and engineers and IT wallas, but they're slaves. Everyone's in debt. Everyone's overspending, right? Have you seen advertisements for credit cards or for malls or for buy things that you don't need with money that you don't have to impress people that you don't like? Sounds to be like the current song, right, of the century. And then in the mode of goodness, what's the motivating factor? Duty. Yes. Like you meet servicemen, right? Why are they doing what they're doing? Duty, right? They have a sense of duty. This is who I am and this is what I have to do for my country. So that's mode of goodness. But why is being good not good enough? Any idea? Why is being good not good enough? Okay. What else? Duty is not. Duty oftentimes is disconnected from the ultimate goal. Just like you can see, Hiranyakashipu, he was talking great philosophy. He just kept Ishvara out of the picture, right? And he just talked about the mechanics of the universe. You have a lot of people who believe in ethics and all that stuff, but just don't talk about Krishna, okay? Just leave Krishna out. You noticed? They just, everything minus Krishna. right? And the modes are always fighting for supremacy. So good is not good enough. Why? Because passion and ignorance is just a little bit away. And immediately, boom, they're ready to jam in front. That's why we have to go further. We have to go to transcendence. And that means everything is connected to Krishna, everything is owned by Krishna, everything is for Krishna's pleasure. That is the view of a devotee. So a devotee doesn't see, oh, this is good or this is bad. A devotee sees the whole universe as paraphernalia for Krishna's enjoyment. So there's no such thing, or oh, this is bad or this is good. No, it's all part of Krishna's creation. It can all be engaged in Krishna's service. Either through internal or external energy, yes. Even the idea of good is, everybody has their own idea. Yatamata tapat. Oh yeah, this is, oh, so you're vegetarian. Good for you, but not for me. Have you heard that? Oh yeah, Hare Krishna wala. Good for you, not for me. Huh? I have my idea, you have your idea. Everybody's entitled. He has his own idea. His idea is playing. Okay, fine, right? Kid is God. Yeah. Poor guy's God. Old guy's God. Everyone's God, right? Confused. Other points. Huh. B. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm supposed to speak this now or later, because they haven't handed me the full menu, you know. It's on a need-to-know basis. It just gets revealed step by step. But the 4 laws are very simple. The first one we already touched on. Your sadhana must be strong, because it's your foundation. If you don't have strong sadhana, and that means airtight sadhana, you know, like solid. Not just manodharma, not just, yeah, I chant some rounds, and every now and then I look at a book, you know. But do you have an active program for studying Prabhupada's books? How many of you have read all of Prabhupada's books? Okay. That's 1 out of 40. That's not a passing mark. How many of you have read Bhagavatam? Okay. Please disable notifications, because otherwise your phone will get confiscated. And sound, and sold, and the profits will go to free books for Bangladesh or Pakistan, whatever you want to choose, you know, some needy area where they huh? So sadhana must be strong, because if you're not solid, you can't put load, you see. Right now you think, I'm happy-go-lucky brahmachari, life is fun, you know, I'm just living from ecstasy to ecstasy. But in a few days, there will be a congregation who will say, oh Maharaj, what do you want? What should we cook for you? What should we buy you? How much money do you need? And you go like, huh? You get confused. Why you get confused? Because your foundation is not strong. Huh? So sadhana must be strong. You cannot become confused. Huh? Yeah, people can call you teacher, Guruji, sadhu, this, that, but we have to know. Das, anudas. I was in Udupi. You been to Udupi? Nice place, right? Huh? Right in front of Krishna Mat. I stopped a Pandit. He was walking with big books, 12 disciples, big Sika, big Uttariya, big Brahman thread, and he was a healthy fellow, you know. You know healthy? Huh? So, I gave him small book of Prabhupada. And all the students went, oh, what? What are you trying to do? You know, this is our teacher, this is Acharya. And he looked at me and he said, what is your qualification? So I realized, what I'm going to say. Qualification can mean what? Jati, Gotra, education, school, lineage, all of that. I realize whatever I'm going to say, he's not going to be impressed. So what do you say when you don't know what to say? You ever been in such situation? Huh? Very often. So then what do? You ask Siri, or you call mom, or you count your money? No. What are you going to do? You know, that's what people do. When they're in anxiety, they start counting their money. So, what are you going to do? Can't hear you. No. What are you going to do when you don't know what to say? Chant, what does it mean? It means pray to Krishna. Krishna, if I've ever been a good boy, now would be a good time for a miracle. Huh? I'm ready to trade all my bhakti credits. You know, you get bhakti points for going to Mangalarti and Bhakti Sibhushan and Harinam. I'm ready to trade all those bhakti points for a miracle. Because this fellow, I cannot reach him. He's beyond. So all of a sudden I told him, Gopi Bharta Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. And he started smiling. And he opened his dhoti, and he rolled out his dhoti, and he took out 10 rupee, and he handed it to me. And he said, good boy, keep going. And he walked away with Prabhupada's book on top of his big Shastra. Huh? So, what was my point? Besides storytelling? Sadhana, yes. And Sankirtan is high sadhana. Because in theory, everything sounds good, everything looks good. You know, you ever heard people talk about tech or finance, but they don't have one clue what they're talking about? All the time, right? They're just marketing people, or, you know, they have no idea in reality. So, you have to go out and face the music. Face obstacles. And then in that fire of trial and error, in that fire of rejection and appreciation, I love you, I hate you, get off my planet, oh, where have you been? I've been waiting for you all my life. All that kind of stuff, you will see Krishna. Huh? You will see the internal and external energy working simultaneously. And that's quite a darshan, that's quite an interesting scenario. You have to have that realization. Huh? And then you become solid. Then Krishna can invest more energy into you because you have become one of his representatives. That's what we're here to experience. Huh? It's not so cheap. It's not a cheap thing. Yeah, you can order the dhoti and all that stuff online, you know? Amazon ships. My older brother, Michael, he just retired from Swiss banking. I was born near Zurich in Switzerland. So, to go for, I don't know if you know Halloween or stuff like that, you know, like people dress up, they put on costumes. He used to dress up as a Hare Krishna. He knows a Vishai, you know, but he used to dress up as a Hare Krishna just for fun. Send me the pictures. Huh? Every other quarter, he used to bring a different girlfriend to the temple, you know, just to tease me. Oh, this is my younger brother, you know, he's a monk. Huh? They're not doing this, not doing that, not doing that, not doing that. You know? But believe it or not, he's the only one of the family who actually appreciated that I'm the only guy who's following some dharma, some principles, some sattvic lifestyle. So, it's not an external thing, it's not a show. It's not enough to put on some tilak. You see some people running around with tilak or sika or mala or this or that, right? And sometimes you go, Hare Krishna, and they go, no response. You noticed? Right? So what went wrong? Because it's external. They're not in the bhav. It's not internalized. Okay. Lesson, 4 laws of Bhakti Sibhushan. Law number 1, don't fall asleep. No. Law number 1, your sadhana must be strong. Rule number 2, get books, because you can't distribute books that you don't have. Are you carrying books in your bags? Who is carrying books when you travel on buses, on trains, on metro, when you go? Okay, that's not a passing mark. Sorry, sadhus. Do you have books here? Are books available? Do books exist? They do. Okay, I'm just checking, you know, I travel 40 countries every year, so it varies. But I think they do exist, right? Is it difficult to carry 5 books in your bag? No. Yesterday I had 7 big books and 20 or 25 small books. And I always go to the airport, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to go 3 hours before the train. Huh? Just to be, if you can't be on time, at least be early, okay? So, and it was like hunting in a zoo. There's just people there in the airport. They're not going anywhere. They're sitting, they're walking, they're on their phone, they're buying stuff, they're eating. They got nothing to do till their flight goes, right? So, easy catch, isn't it? Books went in 1 hour, boom, boom, boom. I was just choosing all the young guys, you know, sports guys, business guys, students, and just having a little bit of moment, you know, of connection. Huh? So get books. You have to have books. Sometimes people meet you and they go like, Iskcon? Huh? Bhagavad Gita? And you say, Flipkart, Amazon, Mishu, you go to the temple, it's there, you know, there. It's not going to work. You have to have the goods, you have to deliver. Okay, so get books. You got it down? You wrote it down? Get books. Because we have done scientific studies in major universities around the world that you can't distribute books that you don't have. And never lose your humor or your appetite, because otherwise you're going to get strange diseases and die young. Rule number 3, the more you show, the more you sell. I was leaving Berlin Temple to go to Singhachalam in Germany in the morning, just right after Mangal Artik. Next to the temple, there was a Turkish grocery shop. The guy was out at 4 a.m., all his vegetables, fruits, everything laid out. At 4 a.m., he was walking up and down in front of his store. I was thinking, wow, this guy, he's got his sadhana together, right? Huh? Yeah. The more you show, the more you sell. It's not enough to have the book in your basement, in your car, or in your bag. You have to take it out and put it in the person's hand. Now people will say, no, let's have a talk. Let's just talk. Why are you coming out with this book? Because everything I've got to say, it's based on this book. And if you're not willing to look at that book, I got no time to waste. You got that? So initially you want to feel appreciated. You want to get your dopamine, your emotional satisfaction that somebody acknowledges your existence. But after a while it gets old. And you realize, I know how the sound of my own voice sounds. It's not so spectacular. You know, why not give them Prabhupada's voice? Why not give them Prabhupada's word? That will have lasting impact. So put the book in people's hands. Because if the book is in your hand, it will stay in your hand. If it's in their hand, there's a good chance that it will stay in their hand. Have you noticed? Yeah. So the more you show, the more you sell. And then rule number 4, you have to be organized. This is a big city. There's a lot of people here. I don't know, 16, 18, 20 million. I don't know what's the latest count. More than twice the population of Switzerland. You got the whole world and everyone from India and their friend and their dog who comes to Bengaluru because they heard that here, the dosas are bigger, right? And tastier than anywhere else. So, you can see that as a tragedy or as an opportunity. What do you prefer? Tragedy? Opportunity, right? You don't have to go anywhere. The whole country is right here at your doorstep. But you have to be conscious. And you have to organize. Organize means you have to think team, because alone is not going to happen. Alone you can talk to a few people, you can distribute a few books. But you want to reach 20 million people, you got to have teams. I'm from Switzerland, from a small country. Have you heard of Nestle? You heard of Nescafe? You heard of Kit Kat? You heard of Maggi? Those soups? Yeah? Their goal is to sell 2 billion products a day. 2 billion. That's 2,000 million products, single products a day. That's their goal. How do they do it? They build teams in every country. In every country. Production teams, distribution team, marketing team, research team. Are you thinking team? Or are you just thinking I, me, and mine? Huh? I know this is a different type of didactic than what you're used to. They don't teach you this in engineering. It's just you get your job done, then you get promotion, you move up the ladder. All of a sudden you notice there's nothing on top of the ladder, so you fall off the ladder, or you just resignate and just stay there and flatline for the rest of your life. You can do spectacular things, but you have to connect with the message of the Bhagavatam, and that's what Prabhupada, that's Prabhupada's formula. He realized it took him 8 years to publish the first canto, 3 books. And he realized, I don't have enough time. There's another 11 cantos missing, and I'm nowhere near my goal. So what do you do when you have very little time and a big job? Yeah, but delegate to whom? Nobody was interested in India. It was struggle, struggle, struggle. He lost his building in Jhansi. His godbrothers didn't want to help him. Nobody wanted to publish his books. Nobody except a couple of people gave him money. So what do? You look where there is potential. You look where there is opportunity. And you recruit, and you train, and you empower. That means you have to have vision. So we are getting our vision from the Bhagavatam. That's the vision. What does it say in the beginning of every book? Huh? Yeah. Tadvak visarga janataga viplavo. Do you want to see that revolution, that re-spiritualization? Or is it just a nice slogan, you know? Looks good in the corporate office, you know, over the reception. This is our motto. No. You want to see that, right? Because otherwise, this place is turning hellish. Have you noticed? Traffic jams 24/7. People really reducing in human caliber and getting more and more animal-like, like desensitized. They don't even notice that they're hurting others or hurting themselves. Huh? So, either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. Sorry, no one is neutral, not even the Swiss. We don't do wars, we finance wars. You get it? No one is neutral. Even if you're a good guy, you work your job, you put your money in the bank. What's the bank going to do with your money? Any idea? Anybody in finance here? Are you financially literate? To whom? Who pays the most interest? Who pays the most interest? Huh? The sheep? No, they only pay little interest because they don't have so much capacity. Who pays most interest? The big bad guys, those who need big amounts of money because they have big bad things that they need to do. Like war, financing wars, huh? Financing arms, financing drugs, financing whatever needs financing. Huh? So no one is neutral. You're forced to take a stand. So either get busy for Krishna, or you'll be one of the casualties, one of the sheep. So that's Prahlad's message here to his friends. It sounds a little stark, right? It sounds a little heavy. Huh? But he understands that they're in a very precarious situation. Their parents, their whole environment is Asura Bhav. If you want to transform Asura Bhav to Achyuta Bhav, you have to make a consistent effort. It's not enough to just do a little Hare Krishna every now and then. So you have a wonderful opportunity here. You have so many sectors, so many groups, so many people are so much interested because they have had a good taste of material life. You noticed? they've had that metallic burnout taste in their mouth. And now the only question in their mind is, do you have something better? Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam susukam kartumavyayam. Do you have the goods? I got whatever you need, but do you have what I'm looking for? That's the question. Because we can only give what you have. If I don't have it, I can't give it. But because Prabhupada is so kind, he has made himself available in this Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranamamalam, Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Through his Bhaktivedanta purports, Prabhupada is accessible, available to each and every person. Have you had your moments with Prabhupada when you read and you're like, wow, what a mind, what a brilliance. You ever have problems? They don't have problems in Bengaluru, right? It's all figured out, right? AI has solved all the problems. We don't have solutions, but we have a lot of data. Huh? You want some data? No. You ever have a problem and you open up the Bhagavatam and Prabhupada gives you the answer right there? Has this happened to you? Are you reading daily? Huh? Yeah. Prabhupada is speaking right to me, right here. Having a personal, samvad, having a personal discussion. This is wonderful. This is amazing. So everyone can access Prabhupada through this Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then whether they take this Diksha Guru, this Shiksha Guru, this is a detail. An important detail, but a detail. So you have to understand the difference between a principle and a detail. Okay? Otherwise you get caught up in details and you forget about principles. Yes, Prabhu. So what are the four, just to sum up quickly? Number one. Okay, number two. Number three. Number four. Yeah, that means first of all I have to organize myself. Otherwise you get nothing done in this big city. Because you can spend your whole day in commuting or in thinking or trying, but it's not going to happen. So you have to actually have an organized plan. Yes? A little closer.
How do you adjust yourself to the different kinds of audience? As a struggling student, I think that if I probably go outside India, then I can struggle. How do you connect with those?
Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. You know Bhagavad Gita? You heard of that book, Bhagavad Gita? Yeah? 10:10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. You know the last paragraph of the purport? Prabhupada says you may be in a spiritual movement. You may have a guru, but you still don't know what the goal is or how to attain it. Sounds like Tapan Mishra, right? Educated Brahmin, but he doesn't know where to go or how to achieve it. And then he says, but if whatever you do it with love to please Krishna. Krishna in your heart will give you the intelligence how to achieve it. I was a 15-year-old kid from the mountains addicted to sports. I didn't know how to talk to all types of people, how to travel the world, how to, have impact. I had no clue. But Krishna will give you the intelligence. Empowerment comes according to the degree of our surrender. I'm not very empowered right now, honestly, because I'm not very surrendered. Prabhupada said Krishna can give you the whole world in 18 days. He gave it to the Pandavas. But we can't even manage our little shuchi kit or our little bag. So why would Krishna give you more? It would just embarrass us, right? If I would give you 50 crores right now, what would you do with it? It would just create a disturbance, right? It would just make you anxious and because you don't know what to do with all that. So we have to prepare ourselves. And then, through the process of Guru Ashraya, of taking shelter of Guru, of following the instructions of the spiritual master, then that internalization that okay, it's more fun to be Krishna's instrument than trying to be the big guy and to make your own moves. Because unconscious competence, that comes when you're so much connected with the internal potency that you say things and you do things that you didn't know and you didn't know that you were capable of. Have you had that experience? To some extent, right? You say, Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. Come again. That you say things and you do things that you didn't know before. Have you had that experience? Yes. It's quite amazing, isn't it? I try it out every time when I talk to people. At the end, I say, that's your age. And they go, what? How'd you know? I say, you have to read the book. It's all explained. Works every time. Huh? I had two businessmen in Miami. They were wearing all the right clothes and having business talk, Miami Beach, very proud. I want to talk to them to give them a book, but how do you talk to them? You can't be impolite and just jump in, right? So I just walk up to them, open my mouth and say, I know it's hard to be humble when you're 53 years old and 6'3" tall, And one guy looked at me, do you know me? You've been following me? Who are you? He freaked out, And I said, hey, relax, cool down. I'm 53 years old, and I'm 6'3". I know how you feel. And I gave him a big hug. And then I gave him the book, and he gave me the $20, the 2,000 rupees. And nothing needed to be said, but everything was communicated. And sometimes a lot is said, and nothing is communicated, right? So, Krishna, let him do the talking. That means I have to step out of the center and let Krishna do the magic. It takes a little bit of practice and confidence that, I can't do this, because you can't possibly know all the 8,400,000 species and languages and mindsets and mentalities. No, it's not possible. I was in San Jose City College. I met a young student. He looked quite aloof. He was different. He looked different. He behaved different. I had no frame of reference where he's from or what he's into. But I wanted to give him a book. So I just walked up to him, opened my mouth, and I said, you are Uyghur. You speak 4 languages, Uyghur, Chinese, Russian, and English. How did you find me? You've heard of Uyghur? It's a small tribe between Russia and China, I know nothing about them. I mean, we love them, they're jivatmas, they're parts of Krishna. But I don't know that they exist. I looked it up later. But Krishna just gave me the insight. So Krishna will give you whatever insight is required. You want to see miracles? Don't go to the... Yeah. You can look it up, Ask Google Guru. You heard of Google Guru? University of YouTube? University of Facebook? University of TikTok? So yes, they exist. But we have to be a team player. If Krishna sees that we're going to misuse his Shakti, well, he won't invest in us. But when he sees we're team players, we're like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he opened Namhata, the marketplace of the holy name. And he appointed everybody. And he said, me, I'm the sweeper. I'm the one who is, is keeping everything clean and functional. He's the one who's playing the passes, who's giving everybody the opportunity. Because he knows they can do so much for Krishna. Srimati Radharani is so much pleased when some living entity wants to serve Krishna. And if somebody's not interested, she will go and plead with them, please go and see Govinda. He can't be happy without you. That makes Krishna happy. So I've realized in my short life that if I try to take care of myself, things go sideways, things go miserable. But if I try to help others to progress in spiritual life, Krishna takes care of me. Have you had some experience like that? So try to help others according to your capacity. Right now it may be 1, 2, 3, or 5, huh? But eventually it can be many. Okay? 10 to 10. I don't know what's our timeline, but we have a few questions, time for a few questions here, and then we got a few gifts there, I believe, right? Huh? We have lots of time. Okay. Oh, so you don't have to go to office? No boss? Krishna. He's very kind, right? Yeah. One question, and then we'll speak a little bit about the book.
There
Yes.
are two questions. I think one is related to the translation. Thanks a lot for sharing many points, Prabhu. And one important thing that you have shared is after book reception, like, are you thinking of team or are you thinking of me and mine? Also followed by, you told Asura Bhav to Achyuta Bhav. We need a consistent effort.
It's quite interesting that I
Am I audible,
can't hear
Prabhu?
one word because it's so, the sound quality is,
Is it clear, Prabhu, now?
you have to
Hare-
pronounce clearly.
Sure, Prabhu. Thing
Please.
is, from the translation, Prabhupada saying that, the beginning says that Atma refers to Supreme Lord or the living entity, and both of them are spiritual, and followed by it said that they are the cause of all causes and they are all pervading. During talk also he told that they means the living entities.
Yes.
So here, how the living entities can be cause of all causes, Prabhu?
Krishna is the cause of all the causes, but we're the cause of our own, of our own conditioning, of our own misery, because it's all self-inflicted. We can't blame it on anybody else. So, for us, for our little universe, for our little life, we're by our own doing, we're causing our current situation. Just like the body that you're in right now, this is called prarabdha karma. Who are you going to blame? Your mom, your dad, Modi, God? No. This is a result of my doing. I got this. So don't blame anybody. Take responsibility. As long as we're still blaming, we're not taking responsibility. So yes, we can cause limited capacity, okay? But cause of all causes as far as our own little world is concerned.
Speaking about the individual living entity.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. The second question is that, Prabhuji, while you're telling about the Sambandha Jnana, basically it's about the...
I didn't get one word, it's all muffled. So.
The second question that you have is that, my understanding is that, theoretically I have understood I'm not this body, a spirit soul, and the Lord is supreme. To establish the connection, I have to chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, I can re-establish my connection. But my question is that, like, why there is a Sambandha deity? Like,
Why is there
Sambandha deity? Mother,
a Sambandha deity?
yeah, Madan Mohan.
Yes.
Why do we have Sambandha Acharya? In one of the talk, like from Kartikeya Prabhu, I also heard that we should serve Madan Mohan to establish that connection. If we have chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to establish our connection, to understand Sambandha Jnana, why there is a need of Sambandha deity and Sambandha Acharya? That's my question, Prabhu.
Because they help you with that. Because a lot of people are struggling with that. And we need help. Have you noticed how hard it is to convince people that they're not their body, that they're not their nationality? They need all the help they can get. So what's wrong with having a Sambandha deity or a Sambandha guru? They can help you. They can give you also the higher things, but it starts with this understanding. It's foundational. Okay?
Then can't holy name help complete?
Nitya Sira Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitya Kore Udoi. We're inherently Krishna conscious, but we've forgotten because we identify with Trigunamai. And they remind us that no, you're spirit. Asango hyayam purusha. You're not this material situation. They're the ones who make that connection. Okay? For that, we need them. You got one more? Or plenty more? Okay, so
Thanks a lot, bro.
this is the last 40 years of Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojana, stories, formula for success, also formula for failure. I share my own struggles because you don't live long enough to make all the stupid mistakes. But some other people have already made them for you. So if you actually listen and pay attention, then you can learn. Of course, two wrongs don't make a right, so just hearing mundane things about how people struggle and fail in this world is not the solution. But devotees who have struggled for Krishna and who have persevered, that's interesting. Because that's relatable, right? Sometimes perfection is a little far, at least for me. I don't know about you. So BBT has published this, and somehow, by the kind arrangement of Krishna, I believe you get your own copy. So voila, free gift for all of you. What's the price? Well, I'll tell you a little story. I was in Mumbai airport, and just before boarding the flight, one loud American, you know what loud means? Not just volume loud, but, loud, yeah. Yeah, animated. He's a businessman. He turned around and he looked at me and he said, "What, you're trying to be a monk or what?" And I reached into my bag and I pulled out the Bhagavad Gita and I said, "Yes, since 40 years I'm trying, and this is a gift for you." And I gave him Bhagavad Gita. And he was a little shocked. Like I broke his script because he was like, on a roll, and he receives a gift, right? Because I didn't put up a fight. I just worked with his energy. So he was a little shocked. So he said, "Can I give you something?" So I said, normally we don't take anything, but for you I will make an exception. How much? And I said, well, some people give their life, So then the lady, she picked up the microphone to announce the flight boarding, so I know I got 5 seconds, then the line moves. So I said, some people give $1 million or $2 million. I mean, you're a big guy, right? You're a big guy. So you got to give big. And he was shocked again. So I said, just give 1,000 rupees, So he gave me 1,000 rupees for the Gita. So the point I'm trying to make, what is the point I'm trying to make? Do you remember before we got excited? Storytelling? What's the price? What's the price you have to pay? Lolyam. You got to be eager. It's not just words on a page. You have to be able to actually enter into the mood. What's the meaning behind the words? And that comes from application. The more information without application does not lead to realization. And without realization, there is no transformation. You want prem? You got to transform. Because in the current state, prem is just a nice idea. So we have to transform from Ishvaroha Mahambogi to Dasa Dasa Nudasa. That your success is my happiness, and your pain, your struggle is my pain. If we truly feel like that, then you already live in Vaikuntha. You don't have to go anywhere. Because you see, Goloka is not a zip code. It's not a, it's not a postal code. It's not a tattoo or a hairstyle or a dress code. It's a state of mind. Narayana parak sarve nakutaschana bibhyati svarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyarta darshana. I've been in places that were beyond hellish. But because we were doing Sankirtan there, we felt like we were in Vaikuntha. And I come from a place which a lot of people here consider Svarga. They say, "You're from Switzerland? What are you doing, dude? Why this, Like, what went wrong, I'm like, if you're from Svarga, it's boring, man. There is nowhere to go. It's only downhill. then you want the best thing. And what is that best thing? That's prema bhakti. Nothing can top that. Because what if you climb the top of the mountain, you climb the corporate ladder, and you find there's nothing there except kam, krodh, lobha, moha, mada, and matsarya? What a bummer. What a disappointment. Can you imagine? You take any kid on the street, you give him a movie ticket and a candy cone or an ice cream, they're happy for an hour or two, right? But if you're from up there, that won't do it. That's why Indra is in trouble. Because it's not happening. And he knows it's not happening. So, that's why Martya Loka, Middle Earth, this is actually where it's happening. You see, if you're in a tall skyscraper building, whether you're in the top or anywhere, you can't really go anywhere. But here, Middle Earth, this is where you can go places. This is where things actually get decided. So you're in the right place at the right time. Right now, a little bit distracted, a little bit anxious, a little bit insecure. You know what Krishna told Brahma? Don't be anxious and don't be depressed. Whatever you're praying for has already been granted so many times. You know that verse? In other words, you're not the first brahmachari. You're not the first, trainee. You're not the first Sankirtan devotee. You're not the first temple president. It's been done before, okay? So relax, just breathe. You're lucky, you still got oxygen here. If you're in Delhi, no oxygen. If you're in Moscow or in Beijing, you don't see the sun for 2 months. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it does for the psychology and for the health of people? It's not fun. Your friend from Delhi is calling you to confirm. Huh? Okay, so free gift for everybody. I'd like to thank all of you for being who you are and doing what you do. It may seem like I don't know you, but I do know you because I've worked every position in this shop, from the basement all the way to the top, to the boardroom. And eventually, you will find the place where you feel you have the most leverage, the most impact. Why Prabhupada is the Acharya? Why is he our founder Acharya? Because he's done everything. He did the cooking, the cleaning, the serving. And after a year or so, some young man asked him, Swamiji, can we help? And Prabhupada said, I thought you'd never ask. Maybe you had, rich kids, Mom did everything. Did you have moms who did everything for you? Yeah. I had an ashram in San Francisco. We had some Indian boys there. Like 2 master degrees, already making crores, but still super smart but socially awkward. Some people like that? 29, the whole family is with all the guns down on them, get married, this, that. Lovable people. One of them said, my mom was hand feeding me till I was 17 years old, putting food in his mouth like a bird. No wonder you end up being socially dysfunctional. So, we have a little bit of, re-socialization to do, and Sankirtan is the best, is the school of life. You don't have to go and get MBA. What do they teach you in MBA? Oh, be more process-oriented, less result-oriented. What does that mean? Nishkam Karma Yoga, where does it come from? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna. Is anyone giving credit to Krishna? No. They're taking credit. Oh, be more process-oriented, be less result-oriented. Who came up with that stuff? There is only blue, red, and yellow. Everyone is taking from Krishna and selling it as their own. You heard of plagiarism? Huh? Yeah? Do you know what the word means? Look it up. I know English, I know humanities. It's not on the menu. But it's still good to know a little history. Okay? But in our line, what does plagiarism mean in Sanskrit? Guru Parampara. We're following our acharyas. You don't have to be an innovator. You don't have to come up with new ideas. You can just be a happy, simple follower. And believe it or not, Krishna will empower you. And because Atma has a genius, Atma is part of Paramatma. So every Atma has its own genius. And Krishna can reawaken, he can reanimate that genius in you. And you will do things and know things that you never knew you were capable of. Are you ready for that? Not quite, right? But it seems like an interesting concept, right? Seems like an interesting idea. I know I'm stretching it a little bit here, but that's my job. I have to get you a little bit out of comfort zone. Because right now, you're pretty comfortable. Did you know that you live in paradise? I mean, look around you. I mean, you got cows here, you got 3 sets of deities, you got big property, you got no worry in the world, there is first-class prasad, nice sadhu sangha, nice teachers, all of that. What's to worry about, right? There is things to worry about because there's trouble in paradise. Have you noticed that there's trouble in paradise? Do you sometimes feel anxious? You sometimes can't fall asleep because your mind is chasing its own tail? Does that ever happen to you? Never, right? You just, boom, pass out, right? Huh? Then you're blessed. You know how many people can't sleep and they have to take sleeping medication? Then they have to take other stuff to get up in the morning. Then they have to take other stuff to keep going. Then they have to take medication again to go to sleep. Not a sustainable way how to live life. So you're at the right place at the right time. Don't worry about that. And it's not about the grass is greener, the idlis and samosas are tastier or bigger somewhere else. You're in the right place. Bengaluru can beat every place in the world. But first, we have to actually assemble the team and create that spirit of one team. Team wins. Yesterday I had a cricket team. They were from some major city, I forget, but they were good boys. And we had a little bit of what we're having now. And they were all switched on, they were all fully with it. And at the end, they all took books, and the coach, he handed over 500 rupees ceremoniously, and everybody was happy. So, but you see, success is doing the right thing consistently. It's not just a one-off. You have to stay with it. And that means you have to step out of comfort zone. Yes, you're shy. Yes, you're introverts. Yes, you're a bit nerdy. That can be seen as an asset or as a liability. Depends how you look at it. But you can use your qualities. You can attain that higher taste by engaging all your indriyas, all your faculties in Krishna's service. Otherwise, they will turn against you. And you'll feel lonely, you'll feel depressed, you'll feel alienated, you feel, oh, these are not my people, and then what? Then what? Oh, woe is me. I need to find someone who really likes me and knows me, my soulmate, and then I'll really be fulfilled. Well, yeah, good luck. But that's subject of a different class, okay? We're not going to go down that lane right now. It's perfectly fine whether you're a student or you're a householder or you're retired or you're renounced. That's a detail. So, do you know Krishna Tattva? You heard something about Krishna today, right? Remember? Tell me something. What did you hear about Krishna? Yes? He's the Supreme Lord, yes. What else? You made the sign. What sign you made? You. Krishna? Vibhu. Yes. Krishna's big. Huh? It's all his creation. It's all his potency. It's all his capacity. And as he gives us capacity, he can also take it away. Arjuna could not protect the queens. The big Arjuna, who was fighting and winning against Drona, Bhishma, Karna, he could not protect the few ladies. The coward man came with sticks and they drove them away. All useless, all gone. Why is Krishna doing this to us sometimes? Any idea? Huh? To make us realize that we're insignificant, yes. I can't even control the sound of that phone. So why do I think that I'm a big person? I can't even control my digestion. It's all outside of my control. It's magic, right? When you give up, then it stops. As long as you're annoyed, it keeps going. Huh? And when you accept it, then it stops. Huh? Mystery, right? Mystery. I know you got so many books to read. And you may think, oh, why is this guy giving us his book, you know? I can tell you why. I'm reading all of Prabhupada's books once a year. It's possible. But you have to have a plan. You got to get up early, and you got to stick with it. If you like something so much that you don't want to miss it, you just keep going. You just keep going. You just keep going. Huh? So if you read this book, hopefully it will inspire you to read all of Prabhupada's books. Because that's the best thing you can do with your time. Because Krishna Svadhama Bhagate Dharma Jnana Divisaha Kalaunashtam Drishamesha Puranarkodunodita. Krishna and the Bhagavatam is non-different. This is a literary incarnation. You can offer puja, artik to the books. So worship the Bhagavatam by reading it daily. And then you communicate it in your language to your people. And people will go, wow, did you just make that stuff up? And you say, yeah, this is my YouTube channel. This is my social media. No, you say, no, it's all from the Bhagavatam. Here are the books. Can you do that? How difficult is it to distribute Bhagavatam? It's not difficult. Whenever you give a lecture, you have a little table with a Bhagavatam set. And afterwards you ask people, how many of you have this? How many of you would like to have this? How many of you would like to sponsor this for somebody else to give it as a gift? It costs about the same like a cheap Android phone. Not expensive, right? How much your phone? 6,000? More than that. Fancy, huh? Tell us, how much? 12,000. How much is Bhagavatam? Less than that, right? Less than little Android phone. Huh? Can you afford it? Yes, of course. Huh? When I was in Georgetown, Guyana, after class, 28 sets, boom, gone. Huh? Philadelphia, 21 sets. Ukraine, 15 sets. Lithuania, 16 sets. Yeah, you have to put in a little effort. But Krishna responds. And people give you money. Have you noticed sometimes people give you money because they see you're a sadhu, they just keep giving you money? Does that ever happen to you? So then what do? You buy a new phone or? No, you take that money and you sponsor a set. And when you have a big class, you say, I would like to sponsor 2 sets for teenagers because I got my set when I was 15 years old. I'll tell you the story later if you remind me. And I want to sponsor 2 sets for teenagers. Who here would like to have a set sponsored? So you have some youngsters who come and you gift them the books, okay? And I guarantee you there will be at least half a dozen people who say, I want to sponsor a set. I want to sponsor a set. Because when something happens, the action goes on, people join in. And all of a sudden, sets are flying. My friend Radheshyam, you heard of Radheshyam from Pune? The Radheshyam Prabhu. Mind control. Huh? So he's a little guy, but because he's a big sadhu, I told him, you make a little ceremony, you go to people's houses and you do some arti, puja, and katha, and prasad, and Bhagavatam installation, and they will invite their friends and family, and then you get 5 or 7 places who also want to sit. And in this way, he kept going for a few hundred of those, and then he had to start outsourcing to other devotees because he got too much. It became like an avalanche, because each place 5 people want, and then more. It became too much. He had to delegate. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Can you delegate? No, only I can do what I do. Nobody can do that. Every Sankirtan devotee could have written this book. But because most of them are too humble, they won't. So I had to do it. We're not extraordinary. It's Krishna's potency. Krishna Shakti Vinana Hitara Pravarta. So you can pick up your free copy afterwards. And we continue this little conversation. You may have also seen some of the videos. We have a 17 video series that we're releasing now, one per week. We have little Sankirtan interactions. Have you seen some of those? No. You're not on YouTube. You don't do any electronics, computers. You're blessed. I congratulate you. But some people do spend time there. So it's a medium that can also be used. But nothing beats personal experience. Pratyaksha. So you go out on the street with some devotees who have some experience. And you see firsthand what happens when a person who is turned away from Krishna, all of a sudden from Bahirmukh, whoops, they switch. And they're like, this is nice. This is wonderful. I want this. Have you seen that switch? Isn't it inspiring to see? When people turn towards Krishna after such a long time, you can have that experience every day of the week. But you got to have strong sadhana, you got to get books, you have to show them, and you have to think team. You have to build teams and empower others. So there is nothing lacking here. There's all the opportunity. We just have to improve our team dynamics. And that means communication, cooperation, and love and trust. We have to learn how to evolve in our processing. So I'd like to thank all of you for your presence and your kind attention. We're going to have another class tomorrow, correct? Tomorrow morning. Yes. 8 o'clock. Same place, same station. Stay tuned. Okay? And don't allow your mind to trick you that the grass is greener on the other side of the river, that someone's got something better, something higher, something more far out. I've been around the world 30 times in the last 40 years, doing roughly 30 countries per year. Just came from Ukraine. So there's nothing out there. It's happening right here, Bengaluru. So save yourself the trouble and the cost and the anxiety of running around, and just stay where you are and cherish what you have. You're blessed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if you're wondering, how can I eat less, and how can I sleep less, and how can I do more of this and less of that? Sankirtan is high sadhana. If you're in Sankirtan mode, in building team mode, remember, Arjuna doesn't have a problem with discipline, with diet. He doesn't have a problem because he's got Krishna's mission, Krishna's happiness. He's got Krishna's purpose at heart. And that's why he's Krishna's dearest friend. And he's practically empowered on the same level like Krishna. In fact, even Krishna likes his devotees to do things that he doesn't do. Because that's, Krishna is taking the humble role. He likes his devotees to do those things. So you want to have an interesting life, an exciting life, join the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You want to have a boring life, just get in the rat race. No matter how hard you try, how fast you run, you're still going to be a rat. Punar mushtika bhava. You may become a big rat, but you're still a rat. And nobody gets out alive. Nobody gets out alive. But this is tasting immortality, tasting the nectar of Krishna's compassion. Why did Krishna build this universe? Why did Krishna empower Brahma to build this universe? Any idea? You ever seen parents taking their kids on vacation? You've seen? They take them to playground. Why? Because they want them to have fun, right? They want them to have a good time. So Krishna knows that the living entity wants to enjoy, they want to experience, they want to engage. So he allows them to try out a few things. But then at some point he says, Bari Jabo, time to go home. Right? Time to go home. So now time's up, it's time to go home. We've played enough games. We've been in all the species of life. We've experienced every scenario. Now we're at this crucial moment where we can actually, again, re-enter Krishna's pastimes. Huh? Don't take it for granted. Don't think you got other things to do that are more important. This is it. And whether you're going to be married with 5 kids and 30 companies, or you're going to be stellar brahmacharis, or you're going to be humble support sevaks, that's a detail. It's not that important. Because Krishna sees the bhava. Bhava grahi janardhan. Krishna sees your heart. Krishna was impressed by Vidura. So much so that he ate banana peel. Have you tasted banana peel? Huh? Anyone? No? It's not on the menu, right? It's an acquired taste. Why did Krishna enjoy banana peel? Any idea? Bhakti! Huh? There was so much love. It's not about what you do. It's about your bhava, the spirit, the mood with which you do it. So, thank you for allowing me to serve you. I feel humbled when I see all of you. I mean, I'm a 9th grade dropout, you know? So I dropped out of school when I was 15 years old because I got the Bhagavad Gita and I realized this is it. I struck gold. Not one day more. I'm done. It took 6 months to convince my mom to let me go. But that's a different story. Anyway, you get a few stories and a few ideas here. And yeah, a day without reading Prabhupada's books is a day wasted. You don't have time to waste. Right now you may think, I got decades, I got all the time in the world. I'm almost 60. My three kids are older than you for the most part. So don't waste time. It's precious. Okay? Stay conscious. And we'll continue our conversation tomorrow. Please pick up your complimentary copy, sponsored from your, well-wishing friends. And try to meditate a little bit. Okay, what is my contribution? What is my legacy? I know I'm still young, but, if I want to do something of magnitude, I might as well start thinking about it now, right? So, and it's quite possible. If you can change one person's life by connecting them to Krishna, according to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to him, that's worth more than all the temples, all the marble, and all the other things. So, thank you for taking part in the Sankirtan movement. I'd like to see many things here, like monthly Sankirtan festivals, like marathons, like educational programs, helping people to get more into the Bhagavatam. And naturally, there will be more sharing, more missionary activities, more outreach. Right now, I see a lot of potential, but I also see some insecurity and some, just self-containedness. So, but we can harness that energy when we think according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's formula. Kipa vipra kipa nyasi shudra kena noi ye Krishna tattvave se guru hoy. So please all become spiritual masters by taking up this Sankirtan movement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, kripasindubhyevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Free gifts for everybody. Right there.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your sharing of experiences and also the class. So wonderfully describing so many different concepts. Let's thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Bol. And sometimes if you want to catch people's attention, you have to say things in a way that normally you would not do. You have to be a little more outspoken. I know many of you are shy, you're